In this module, we are going to learn about few other conditional functions like SUMIF, AVERAGEIF, and COUNTIF. Now, what all these functions does? Now, sum, average, and count would actually, sum would add up all the values within a range. Average will do it, finds the average, whatever selected range you give to the parameter. Count will count the number of rows or cells in that range. However, there are times when you want that the counting should be done, or average should be done, or summation should be done based on certain criteria. So I don't want to sum up everything, all the rows. I just want to pick up those rows which meet certain criteria. And then those rows would pick up, and those rows should be summed up, or whose average need to be found out, or that needs to be counted. So in that case, what we need to do and how we need to do, and what functions would be handy. Now, these are the three functions which is handy, right? One is the SUMIF, which takes a range, that means a series of cell or a range of cell, and within which I have to define my criteria. That means that range holds the criteria. That means what I want to find is this range. And when that criteria is satisfied, those corresponding rows are picked up from the sum range and the sum is done. So that is actually, optional. If you don't do, then it will sum up this range only. So let's see. Average is the same thing. Count is the same thing. So let's see and do it before we get into this. So this one finds the sum for the cells specified by a given conditions. This one finds the average, and this one finds the count. So we'll do it practically, then you'll understand what does this mean. Now let's see this. Now if you look at this table, this is a table of some sales which is happening. These are the sales persons there, the ID number, region, and sales. Now I want to find out the total sales based on the region. So if I want to find out North, what is the total sales? South, what is the total sale? East, what is the total sales? And West, what is the total sales? So I want to find out that. In order to find that, I can't use sum, because sum would do, it'll always sum up all the rows. Now I'll do SUMIF. So let's see how it does. So I'll say is equal to, or I don't need to say equal to, I could just go to the insert function, and here you can say SUMIF. It's already there, but you can also find out using this SUMIF. If that's there, then you can search for that function. Here's SUMIF, the first one, okay? And say, okay, so here that would be picked up. First parameter to this function is range. Range, which will be used to find this criteria. So this criteria would be checked on this range. So what I need to search first, all the person who resides in the region or works in the region North. So let's do that. So this is my range, and this is the criteria which needs to be searched. That is North. And when it has searched North, it will pick up the value from the corresponding row in sales and sum that up. So this is my range from where it needs to sum up, right? And I say okay. Now it's 438637. Now let's see if it's correct. So what I'll do is I'll just go here North. Okay, I'll pick this up. Control. What else? North. I'll pick this up. Select this. North and select this. So I use Control to select these three, and you will see that the sum is shown here. That is 438637, and I also get 438637. So my answer is correct. Now let's see. What about South? So I can write the same formula, or I can use the same formula and drag it, because most of the parameters are the same. Only the thing which should change is the criteria from North to South. So this two range remains fixed. So I just need to fix them up using function F4 so that it becomes absolute. This is also function F4. And this one is a relative reference. So that when I drag, H12 becomes I12, J12, and K12, and pick up the regions that way. So let's do that. And here we go. And these are the regions. So let's check that out. South. South is this one. Control. South is this one. Control. South is this one. which is 620,616, 620,616. And this way you can check for East and West as well. Okay. Now what about the average sales? Now to find out the total sale, you have used sum. So of course you'll use average if to find out the average sales. So we'll say is equal to, or we can just go here and say insert function and look for average if, and say go. So average if, and say okay. And here the range, again the range is this, criteria is this, and average range is this. And of course we'll say okay. So this is 146,212.33. So if I control press here and look for not, and so if you look here in the down, it shows the average. Okay, so the average here is 146,212.333. Okay, so that's correct. So let's see. If you don't want the decimal, of course you can go to here and just remove the decimal. Okay, and we need to fix this up so that we can drag them. So I need to F4 to make it absolute reference. It's done. Done. So you can check your result as well. Number of salespersons working for East, West, and South. So if we can count the number of East, that means number of person is working. Okay, so let's see. So I say is equal to, or I can go here of course, or I can start from here also. Is equal to, let me do one like this. COUNTIF tab range. So this is the range, right? And I can use function F4 and it becomes absolute, comma, and not. So how many people working in North? 3, right? And then I can drag it, 3. So North, how many people? 1, 2, 3. How many people in South? 1, 2, and 3, I think. 1, 2, and 3, yes. East, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Right? So here we get a whole list of values based on these SUMIF, averages, and COUNTIF. So I hope you got it. If I change this to, like for example, if I change this to West, or I change this to North, automatically these would change based, right? So see, this becomes 4, this changes, and this changes. So these are all linked. Of course, they are linked. And when you make change here, it will affect here. So that is what SUMIF, AVERAGEIF, and COUNTIF functions are.